Hey, all my Pisces friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today with your February 2025 monthly horoscope. Pisces, this year, the beginning of the year, February, March, April, huge for you. Huge, 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 huge. I can't even say it big enough. So be prepared. And that's what we're going to do because February is a preparation month for a lot of the things that are going to take place in March and in April. We'll see some eclipses in March. You are now on the karmic nodal axis, and that North Node is going to inspire and compel a lot of creativity and divinity from you. So, this is what we're going to do. First, I'm going to go through a little bit of well, let me make a couple announcements first. Okay. These videos are based on whole sign Western astrology. So when I'm talking about Pisces, I'm referring to Pisces rising as the first house and dictating the landscape of the chart. When I refer to a day and a time, it is based on the Pacific time zone. So you're going to need to adjust for your location. If you don't know your rising sign, you're going to want to go to one of the free birth calculators on the internet and put in your exact time and location of birth, and you can determine that information. This video is still applicable for Pisces moon and Pisces sun, but the house structure will not be the same. Tomorrow afternoon between 4 and 6 p.m. Pacific time, I will be doing live tarot card readings based on your specific and personal questions. So I hope you can join me. If you can't, be on the lookout. These are events that are quite popular, so I'll be doing more and more of them. And I also have recorded a yearly video for Pisces for 2025 and put in chapters for each month. You might want to take a look at that. It's a great tool to use throughout the year. So today is February 4th because I'm running behind. And I have Pisces 12th house, and there's been a lot going on behind the scenes for me. But first of all, what we're going to do is I'm going to run through the highlights because we're going to talk about Jupiter is moving direct in Gemini. We have Mars moving direct in Cancer. Gemini is your fourth house of home, and Cancer is your fifth house of romance. But your first and second house, mostly your first house, is very much getting lit up, especially towards the end of this month and in March, as I said. We will have a full moon in Leo. The sun will be conjunct Mercury. That's happening on the 12th at 5:53 a.m. I'll be doing a separate video for that. And we have a new moon in Pisces on February 27th at 4:44 a.m. Again, I'll be doing a separate video on that. So let's jump in and look at the chart. So, oops, I just got done doing another video. I forgot to put it back to the first. Okay, here we go. Oops, the fourth, I meant, because today's the fourth. All right, here we go. So Aries is your second house, your house of skills, your house of your voice. And I don't mean just a singing voice, I mean your opinion, being able to speak your mind. It is the house that rules your skills and your talents. It's the house that rules the money you can make through your individual efforts. Venus is moved into Aries, where she's technically in detriment. I don't know if I really buy that as much as maybe in ancient times, because the feminine energy in modern times is able to create her own money, make her own home, create her own sense of security and safety. She's quite pioneering. Now, yes, Venus can be a little hot and heavy, meaning a little bit, when I say hot and heavy, I mean that like, a little bit passionate and a little bit, willing to fight in war. But at the same time, it's because I think in previous ages, she was not respected for what she brought to the table through her individual point of view. So here, I think she's got a lot of opportunity. She's going to go all the way to 10 degrees, and then she's going to retrograde back into your first house where she's exalted. So this is pretty special. We're seeing the North Node and Neptune here conjunct at 28 degrees. To me, this is very much speaking of wanting a stronger and stronger connection with my creativity, the divinity within the sense of me that is not necessarily of this earth. I think that's very important. We also see that Gemini, that Jupiter has gone direct in Gemini. Gemini is your fourth house of home, and it's going to remain at um, the 11th degree until the 24th of February. And I think this is significant because I think what it's going to do is bring a lot of thoughts of home and hearth and sort of an examination of them, a review of them. I know that Jupiter has been retrograde, but here this is new philosophies, new ideologies about how I want to take the imprint of my fourth house and expand upon it. Jupiter in detriment is like has to look at the details, has to come down from the mountain and come into the valley when it's in Gemini. But here I think that this is an opportunity to really be aware of the repetitive thoughts that actually anchor me into an energy that I'm not even sure I'm consciously creating. And maybe some of that could potentially be always thinking of others because the Gemini energy is a house of other people. You're giving them information, you're speaking to them, you're teaching them, you're interacting with them. So I think this may be something where you start to infuse some new ideas. And I think that's further evidenced by the trine over here to Mercury as Mercury is in Aquarius. The other thing that's going on that's hanging out all month long is Mars's square in Mars is in Cancer retrograde. It's going to slow down and then move direct a little later in the month, but it's making a square to Chiron in your second house. Cancer, again, is your fifth house of creativity, of your self-expression, of your pleasure, of romance. And the square to Chiron very much feels as if because it's literally the ruler of Aries is squaring its own house. And I think this is a frustration of the self. This is a frustration of I have skills, I have talents, want to birth them, and I can't move my story forward right now. I can't move my story forward. And I think part of that frustration is best remedied by allowing Saturn to do what it does, to slow things down long enough to allow you to build something strong, sustainable, and enduring. And I think we're going to see more of that as the trine gets tighter to Saturn as Mars retrogrades. I think of all the retrograding planets right now, Mars might be the most challenging because it's the hottest and it's in the house of home and self-care. And for you, it's in a house of pleasure and enjoyment. On the 10th, we will see Uranus that's been stationed at 23 degrees of Taurus since December 19th. We will see making a square now to Mercury. And this is sort of this feeling of, for me, like, trying to look to the future, but feeling a little stuck in the past. And then I get this big how will it happen? How will it happen? I also want to say that with the Sun and Mercury conjunct during this square, there could be something that has to do with other people, siblings, cousins, workmates, teammates. This is in your 12th house. Mercury is in your 12th house. So there could be some sort of inadvertent feeling of obligation or duty or overly compassionate to a situation that's no longer really your problem or even the other person's problem. When someone complains about something for an extremely long period of time, no offense to the other person, but they're usually the common denominator in the co-creation of that experience. And Pisces is going to be tasked to start to seeing compassion beyond the human struggle and seeing the soul's opportunity through its human struggle. That's not going to be easy for you, but it will be life-changing as you integrate that. Okay, on the 14th, Mercury will enter your first house and the Sun will enter your first house on the 18th. So let me wish you a happy birthday. I'm now going to go to the 24th because this is where we see that Mars has gone direct and now we can start to feel and see the stellium that's been growing in your first house. We're just about to have a new moon. So the moon will be joining by the end of the month, your first house. Mercury is here. Mercury is moving. It's about to station to go retrograde in the early part of March, right after Venus does. And the conjunction now, first we had the conjunction between the Sun and Mercury. Now we're going to see the conjunction between Saturn and Mercury. And this conjunction is favorable for Mars. So this is really sort of taking the old story and now building upon it in a creative way. I think of Pisces often as the ones that would write the best love songs, and not the love songs about being happy, but the love songs about heartbreak, pardon me, and how that negative experience is transformed through creativity into something everyone can relate to. It not only brings bounty to the Pisces creator, but also to the people who benefit from listening to it. So I really think that's the focus of this stellium, is to really look at the Pisces through the lens of my soul, to see myself from a higher perspective, to take the divots and the more harsh elements of the human experience and to transform them through not the compassion of giving into the harsh experience, but understanding the soul's growth through the harsh experience. All righty. So that's pretty special. Now we do have that new moon in Pisces on the 27th. Again, that's going to be a separate video. And so I'm going to go to the 28th. And here you can see we have, Neptune. The North Node's not necessarily a planet, it is a point, but it is significant nonetheless. We have, because it's flanked, the North Node is flanked by Mercury and by Neptune. We've had our new moon, but the moon is still in Pisces. Saturn and the sun is still in Pisces. This is just as cray-cray, really. And it's going to offer so many opportunities and experiences. Again, Venus is stationed. She's going to retrograde back into your first house. But right now, she's very much wanting to think about her skills, wanting to think about how do I implement those skills? How do I move that? How do I be brave and pioneering and a hero in my own life? And I think it's about literally these planets compelling you to step out of what is naturally your 12th house of invisibility, and to start to step into the limelight. Again, that Cancer energy of your 5th house, Jupiter is going to move into that house in June and really light it up and bring so much wealth and opportunity that the things you discover over the next couple of months through the transits in your 1st, 2nd, and ultimately 3rd and 4th house will help support that expansion. But part of it is Pisces energy can't be or should be aware of where you are too empathetic to a sad story that doesn't serve anybody. Sometimes love is interruptive. Sometimes love says no. So that's it for me for February. Again, I want to reference your yearly video so you can look for more detail there. Again, this is kind of a highlights video. I don't want to make them too long and hard to watch. And I hope you can join me tomorrow afternoon where I will be answering your questions from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. And please like, please subscribe, please share, and come back next month for your March monthly. See you then, Pisces. Have a lovely February. Bye-bye.